In this video, I'll provide a high-level overview of the Business Continuity Management Solution OpenPages. I'll focus primarily on three objects: the Business Impact Analysis object, the Business Continuity Plan object, and the BC Test Plan object. I'll start with the Business Impact Analysis object. The purpose of the BIA is to assess the criticality of processes, assets, and vendors. This assessment is conducted in the impact calculation section here using the calculation engine. In the calculation engine, we have numeric scoring associated to these values under contract regulatory requirement, financial impact, and reputation impact. Those numeric values are added together to create the impact score, which then determines the impact tier and the maximum acceptable outage for determining the criticality of these processes reviewed as part of this business impact analysis. The user can change the numeric scoring as they need to. They can add additional fields and bring those into this scoring calculation, and they can even bring in additional fields from related objects into this scoring for determining MAO. Scrolling down, you can also see that we have three processes related to this business impact analysis. If I click on the side panel icon here, I can have access to the information provided on this record right here in the side panel. I can see the status of the record, the approval date, the last time this process was approved for in a risk assessment. I can see the impact tier and the maximum acceptable outage, which are brought onto this record as part of the last stage in the workflow for this related business impact analysis record. I can also see the risks and controls for this process. If I click on a control, I can get the full view of that control in the new tab here. So a user has quick and easy access to the information provided on all these records. Scrolling down, you can see that we can also associate a sub-process to a BIA, a resource, vendors. We can attach our own documents from our desktop. We can also create issues. We also can see down here the relationships in a visual format, where if I have my business impact analysis, I'm clicking on vendor. From my vendor, I can open up the different relationships for this vendor, and I can see there are multiple BIAs. I can open up these BIAs and then even pull up any related business continuity plans to that BIA. So you can get a visualization of the different relationships available to the user. So here I'm going to my business continuity plan record. So with our business continuity plan, we want to provide a flexible approach for documenting and organizing an organization's response to a disruptive event that may impact a critical process. We have a workflow that is provided out of the box for a new business continuity plan. The workflow goes to the stage where the author inputs the information for the plan at a creation stage. It then goes to a reviewer and then an approver, and once that approver approves the business continuity plan, it gets placed in the status of published, and it's considered final. We have this workflow running on a schedule so that in an ongoing basis, any published and existing business continuity plans are brought up for review again, and the user has the ability to accept the plan as is or to modify the plan, and in which case a new version of the plan will be created to go through the workflow and modifications can be made to it. The user has the ability to add information to the plan directly on the record itself, and the user could also attach documents to this business continuity plan if they don't want to place the information directly on the record. Business continuity plans are organized by scenarios. We have 4 different scenarios we provide out of the box: workplace unavailability, workforce unavailability, IT unavailability, and regional disaster, where the focus of these scenarios is on the effect of a disruptive event on the organization, as opposed to identify any potential event that could impact the business continuity plan. With each scenario, we then have fields for the user to populate to identify the decision in which the decision to invoke the business continuity plan, any recovery procedures, specific communication requirements, alternative site information, key applications, any special equipment, vital records, key clients and vendor contact information, any additional details. The user can also add their own fields to these out of the box, to the fields provided out of the box, and they can modify these views as they need to through the view designer, which they can do through the UI itself. Scrolling down, you can see the related objects that we have available for the business continuity plan. We have business entity, process, location, and then again, clicking on that side panel, they can get information for that record available to them. We have events, policies, procedures, test plans, the related business impact analysis, and the different teams, as well as attachments, and the ability to create issues on this business continuity plan and have those issues go through their own issue management workflow. And similar to BIA, we have our relationship tree view. Moving on to test plan, a user can create test plans and associate the business continuity plan to that test plan, as well as any teams that will be conducting the testing. These test plans can be executed on a scheduled basis within a workflow so that there's no manual initiation of the workflow, that they can be opened on a continual basis. You can have multiple test plans related to one business continuity plan. And then with our test result object, we can document the results of those tests. So in this instance, we have a failure of the test. We can have information on why there was a failure or why there was a successful test, and the lessons learned from that test. The lessons learned can then be input as issues for that business continuity plan, so we can have continual improvement and continual iterative improvement to those plans, so that when a disruptive event does occur in real time, the organization is ready to respond. With that, it's an overview of the business continuity management solution in OpenPages. Thank you for your time.